collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of The Rob Report. I'm Robert Brown. How you doing today? It's been a while since I've been with you guys. I've been a little under weather. Plus, I had some personal things to take care of, but I'm back. Today, I want to talk about some things concerning Bernie Sanders and Russia. Bernie Sanders had the opportunity to go on Meet the Press, the Daily Rundown, whatever it's called, to talk to Chuck Todd about Russia involvement. Watch this.
In hindsight, did President Obama worry too much about the look?
Look, Obama was in a very difficult position. He did not want to make it appear that he was favoring Hillary Clinton. Maybe he should have done more. But the real issue right now is how do we have a president of the United States not saying what everybody knows to be true? Russia interfered in 2016. They're going to interfere in 2018. And we have got to do everything we can to make sure that they do not undermine American democracy. Chuck, this is a huge deal. And that we don't have a president speaking out on this issue is a horror show. And we have got to bring Democrats and Republicans together, despite the president, to go forward to protect the integrity of American democracy.
All right. Now, see, this is where I have my problem with Mr. Sanders. And it's a huge problem. Torn the Democratic narrative. To this date, there's still no evidence that Russia influenced the election. Well, they may have influenced the election, but there's still no evidence that Russia caused Hillary Clinton to get a butt spanked. There's still no evidence that Russia, Cenk Uygur, was caught on videotape by some government that hacked into the Russian surveillance system to catch the trolls hacking into the elections. Nobody hacked into the elections. Now, predicated, if you go back to the primaries, you'll find out that the Democratic Party manipulated the electoral system in the primaries. You'll find out the Democratic Party actually were part of the overturning of voting rolls in New York State that caused Hillary Clinton to get the advantage over Bernie Sanders. Somebody got prosecuted for that. You'll find in California that there was fishy stuff going in elections in the primaries. You'll find in Massachusetts there was doing that. You'll find in Pennsylvania it was going on. You'll find it in New York. You'll find it everywhere. What gets me, Senator Sanders, that you were staying up against the Russians interfering in our elections, but won't stand up in your own interference in your election because you want to be so badly part of the boys' club or the political club of the Democratic establishment. This is where you lose me, Bernie Sanders, and this is where I turn off when it comes to you becoming a president. You're making it hard for me. That's why I proudly voted for Jill Steiner and Jean Baraka. Not because of this mess. This helped a little bit. You made it easy when you turned your back on your people and went with the Democratic establishment versus going with your people. You would have did so much if you would have turned your back on the Democratic Party that stabbed you in the back and embrace your people and start a real revolution versus, at the same time, being sold out to the establishment. And this is clear proof that you sold out to the establishment. How you take on the Democratic narrative. Now, did Russia influence the election? Yes, I admit that. But it was so small and minute with these Facebook ads, sure. There may have been a few trolls that bought some ads. You ever bought ads on Facebook? You think you can really influence an election on buying ads on Facebook? Really? You can't even get another person to join your Facebook group using ads unless you offer some phenomenal product. And believe me, the Russians was not offering a product for somebody to change their mind from Clinton to vote for Trump or from Clinton to not vote at all. The point is, Hillary Clinton sucked. And I will say it, she sucked as a candidate, she sucked as a Secretary of State, she sucked as a state senator. She has no major accomplishment other than chill. Other than the opportunity to help kids get legal help and medical help. Great accomplishment. People just didn't want to vote for two people who were under FBI or criminal investigation. People didn't want to vote for two disastrous candidates, so some people like me voted for somebody, if we had to find them up under a rock, that had honor and integrity, that could carry this office if they had a fighting chance, versus two whack politicians that was running for office and the media pushed them instead of people like Gary Johnson, people like Jill Stein and Jamo Baraka. So Bernie Sanders, you got to stop this, man. People already are distasteful about you. You're not helping you and your so-called party win the next 2018 election and the 2020 election. This stuff right here turned independents off. It turned Democrats who left the party off after they stabbed you in the back. You still look like you're carrying water for the establishment. This got to stop. Trolling? Trolling. Really? After the Correct the Record Hillary Clinton backed organization, David Brock, Croc, whatever you say, and him and Peter and Dush, Dole, whatever you want to call it, dumb. After they pushed hard on the trolling of Bernie Sanders supporters. That was David Brock. That was not the Russians. That was David Brock and Correct the Records. Paid millions of dollars to build a troll army to troll Bernie Sanders supporters to support Hillary Clinton versus supporting Donald Trump. Tried to make them shame, tried to make them feel bad because they still was not going to vote for Hillary Clinton. Not understanding that most of the people that were voting for you, Mr. Bernie Sanders, were the independents. And they're not interested in becoming part of the Democratic Party, no matter what you do. Yet at the same time, that party is going to continue to stab you in the back, but most of the people are tired of the backstabbing, so they're not going to participate and follow your lead until you get some balls and some guts and do what you have to do, and you know what you have to do in order to start a real revolution. Still not too late. But I think you're digging a little too much deep in the rabbit hole of the Democratic Party, and you're not going to be able to get out. And you're losing your base, Mr. Sanders, with crap like this. Did Russia influence the election? With a little troll army? Nowhere near compared to the army of David Brock and Correct the Record. And why everything is all about, oh, they stole the election from Hillary. Nobody stole the election. Jill Stein earned her votes. Bernie Sanders earned his supporters. The supporters are not automatically defaulted to Hillary Clinton. It don't go like that. This is not an emergency brake in a car. This is a freaking democratic process. And you're sitting up there shutting out other candidates who want to get an opportunity to debate the two big ones who did not know what in the hell they were talking about when it came to this country, versus people who had no shot, who knew everything that needed to go on concerning the upliftment of the American people, peace around the world, health, and equality. A little over my time on this, but come on, Bernie Sanders. Stop with this mess. Stop with this. Everybody knows. I don't know. Actually, I do know. I don't believe it. This, the Alphabet Boys, the FBI, the CSI, whatever you want to call it, the NSA, and the CIA all said they're only moderately confident. They're only moderately confident, with the disclaimer at the end. Yet at the same time, your Democratic Party, who you're not a part of, but you're trying your best to lift them up, won't even turn their server in so the FBI can investigate it. Inside job, outside job, it doesn't matter. And no, Julian Assange was not a Russian puppet. And nobody said there's no proof that the information that Julian Assange got from John Podesta, who happened to be on TV the other day, came from Russians. So Mueller's going to find whatever little thing, and the media going to prop it up, and dummy idiots out there in the public is going to believe that crap because they don't challenge. They just believe everything that was on TV. Well, if it was on TV, it must be true. People, you got a brain. Use it. Trolls? The army of trolls in Russia, if there were, the ones that got indicted, 13? And they're innocent still proven guilty? You still got to prove that they did it? It's nothing compared to Correct the Record and the pornography and the whole 9 yards that they tried to do to shut down Bernie Sanders supporters' outlet. That's the real culprit. Those are the real people that manipulated the election. Correct the Record was known for it. And Correct the Record is not a Russian operative. It is not a Russian-backed organization of trolling. Correct the Record was started by Hillary Clinton supporter David Brock. And I think Peter Dush was involved in that too. Dow was involved with that too. They also had their hand in the Trump dossier. This has nothing to do with Trump. This has to do with telling the truth. There's so many other things you can get Trump on, but you're too punk to go that way. You want to continue to play the Russian fiddle and make yourself look like a fool. One more thing I got to say. Bernie Sanders, for you to sit there and talk about people like me like a dog, saying that if anybody that was against Hillary Clinton was a Russian tool, that's a spit in people's face like me. I wasn't a fan of Hillary Clinton once I looked at her record. That made me decide to say no. Once I saw Donald Trump running and know what he's done in New York, especially concerning my community, I said no. I can say no. There's no either or and you have to. That's not democracy. And the people who I wanted to vote for, you wouldn't give them a chance to shine because you were scared they were going to steal your vote. And Jill Stein had the grace and the dignity to give you a way out after they stabbed you on the back, after she warned that they were going to pull that plug up on you and shame you in like they did Dennis Kucinich, like they did Jesse Jackson, like they did Howard Dean. Instead of you going with her and starting a real revolution, she was willing to give you the possible lead role in the Green Party. You decided to kiss the Democratic ring of the person you railed against so hard, of Hillary Clinton. That's like submitting yourself to Darth Vader. You did that. And yet you want us to do what you do. Like Matumbo said, no. It's not going to happen, bro. We want a real foul-ball revolutionary. And to this day, you ain't it. I thank you for your vocal points. I thank for you voicing the outrage in the communities of America. I appreciate you for that. But as long as you can't water for the Democratic Party, you are no revolution. You're no revolutionary. You're just a water boy for the Democratic Party. So I'm done with this. Shame on you for talking about people like me who come on YouTube trying to claim that we're been undermined by Russians and the Russians influence our decision. That's a doggone lie. I made my decisions before the Russians. Okay? Russians had nothing to do with me deciding not to vote for neither one of these turkeys. The record made me decide not to vote for neither one of these turkeys. And that's how I vote, and that's how I will continue to vote. And I will always give a person who have no shot in hell my vote in character, honor, and integrity versus give my vote to two crooked politician who happen to always be under scrutiny. Bob TV with the Rob Report. Talk to you soon.